Okay, I'm waiting for this off token to go through to make sure this. Okay, I think yeah. Took me 4 times to get it. We all love Samuel, don't we?
Oh, it's wonderful till it doesn't work.
The joys.
Awesome. Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in this fantastic, beautiful world. I am joined. I've told y'all I'm going to have the summer of fun and bringing my friends onto the show so that we can transfer knowledge to y'all. Thank you to those who have joined us live or whatever time you are watching this. You're watching this pre-recorded. I enjoy that you're watching this, and I'm glad to have you here. And we're about to have an hour of fun. It's currently Thursday, July 9th at 2 p.m. And I brought two of my kind of fantastic friends I've met over the summer at Hacker Summer Camp slash Jess. RSA got moved up this year, so it's always been fun. It's Juan Requena as well as Aaron Fillmore. Aaron and Juan have known me for about probably 6 months now, if not a little more, but they have been
Yeah,
cyber. I just like to say that we're besties at heart right now because
absolutely.
of
For
all
sure.
the advice and knowledge they've dropped on me. Juan's had a strong career in cybersecurity, and then Aaron also had another strong career in cybersecurity, and they've built up their skills and knowledge to now found their own nonprofit for cyber info
Mhm.
and are going to tell us about that. But I'll toss it over to Aaron and Juan to introduce themselves and talk to some of my community. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, Juan, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm Juan Requena. I'm a vulnerability management engineer by trade, and also am the EVP at Cyber Info that I started with Aaron, and I'll go ahead and hand it off.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously I'm Aaron. I also Aaron. That's a pretty common one I get. I answered that as well, as I'm sure you can imagine. Yeah, I'm a threat researcher by day, and at night, the president and director of Cyber Info.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, I guess to start it off slow, I'll give you an easy one. Is how do y'all get into cyber? Like, how is your approach to cybersecurity?
Oh man. I think we had kind of similar approaches to a degree.
Minecraft. I think that's the
Craft.
easiest. That's the easiest route for both of us. We kind of started in the same place.
Mhm.
Like just hosting servers and stuff as a kid, and like the garage, and then getting the house, DDoSed because the people back then.
At least you didn't
That
get swatted.
right,
Yep.
right.
Fortunately, we didn't have to deal with that. Thank God. That could have been
Yeah.
really bad.
But yeah, that one thing led to another from middle school Minecraft days and avoiding all of the pitfalls of running publicly exposed services all the way to now. What about you, Aaron? You had a more unconventional bring up, I feel.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this a little bit, but yeah, I think that was really good experience. Like I think that's ultimately how I met Juan well over a decade ago. Was kind of doing the Minecraft hosting provider stuff, and but yeah, I mean I got started real young. I always like to say my father tried to protect me from the horrors of the internet, and I was just like, absolutely not. I would like to have my freedom. So I spent a lot of time social engineering him, trying to subvert Net Nanny, I think was the thing at the time.
Oh
And
no!
Net Nanny, yeah, that little
Yeah,
sucker, that piece of crap. I found out you could just right click and terminate the process. It had no like
it had
user
no action.
context control. Yeah.
It was just right into
Um,
the host file at one point, wasn't it? I think at one point
Probably. It
yeah.
wouldn't shock me. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And then yeah, I got in trouble with the law for a little bit as a kid, and then that was kind of my kickstart in the pants to go on the right path. And then yeah, just kept going at it, and here we are today.
Yo, I love that. As a fellow server admin myself, I never probably got as big as y'all. My only wild approach was probably exchange admins at one point. And Microsoft deserves to give me an AZ 900 just for being an exchange admin in the 2000s.
If you can rotate like the TLS cert, yeah. Yeah, yeah, you know that reaction, that is like OG ball knowledge.
PTSD. I like at some point, and this was before AI and LLMs. This was you had to know, you had to
Mhm.
push Google and do some weird Stack Overflow stuff just to get to
Mhm.
the point. Oh, yo, I love that. I think that's definitely a good one. And like Minecraft, especially trying to before Cloudflare, like being able to put a Minecraft server behind a Cloudflare firewall quickly, like yo,
Mhm.
having to do with that much traffic and take. Can I ask how big the server was? Like how, or I guess going from Minecraft server management, how'd you make the next jump to like
Mm.
straight like what pushed you from like, hey, this is something I'm doing for fun on the side as like a hobby to the skills I have? Like, where was your first break?
Mm.
Uh,
I think for you it was with our mutual friend, right, Juan?
yeah, I would have been like, because after doing some Minecraft server hosting out of the garage, we both ended up working at a Minecraft hosting provider pretty early on. Like I was in high school at the time. What about you, Aaron? But that was what kind of opened the door to we kind of enjoy helping other people do things with software and hardware, the sense of provisioning stuff. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of what started the path for me and led to a whole bunch of other things. Like, hey, I ran a hackathon back when I was in high school. Did a couple of other things in IT, bounced around a couple of internships and landed in cybersecurity full time now.
Yo, I love that. And then Aaron, you kind of went the route of like MSPs and SOC teams, right? Like network
Mm.
engineering to MSP. Um,
Yeah.
at what point did you decide you wanted to step back and just kind of choose the career trajectory that you're on now?
Yeah. So now network engineer was a bold title for them to give me. I personally wouldn't have given that to myself, but it is what it is. So I think I always knew that I wanted to do cyber. But my thought was, why the hell would anyone hire me to attack or defend their systems if I have no experience with them? And so that's what kind of put me on the route of um, kind of MSP work, and it interested me more than internal, like general IT or systems administration, because you get experience with a bunch of different dumpster fires, and so it's you are, whether you want it or not, you are getting just a ton of experience with different configurations, different problems, and I think that prepared me a lot compared to like if I was just doing internal IT. And so I was able to take that knowledge and experience and move over to a SOC analyst position. That was my first like dedicated IT role. And it wasn't even a SOC analyst. One was a SOC analyst two, just because I had enough like kind of prerequisite experience to where they're like, okay, well, you can like rattle off standard ports. Good enough, sort of thing.
No, I tell my students all the time. I'm like, MSPs are hard, but if you can survive them, you
Mhm.
iron will sharpen. Well, maybe not iron will sharpen iron. The fires and the
The dumpster fire.
the dumpster fires will mold you into
Mhm.
something. Like especially with the exposure. Similar to you, I wasn't MSP work directly, but we were an internal IT service that was IT as a service to every college department on my university. So it became
Okay.
like, yeah, we were just, hey, your project went to die and had to be resuscitated because we were like, oh, you have a random Drupal project from what? And it runs what? And it's critical to your, okay, cool. All right, doing it. Okay, so then I want to ask you guys then, what's one early challenge or mistake that kind of shaped how you view cybersecurity today? And like, do you have a defining moment that you're like, damn, if I could go back, like that really that inspired me, or that I would never do that again, or even kind of just like, I can tell you one will probably be for myself is I saw mishandling of data, especially at a government city level, that inspired me like, yo, it can't be this hard. Like, I won't name names, but a local city at one point managed to expose a very marginalized community of at-risk youth and expose social security numbers, addresses.
Ooh.
Oh, well, yeah. So that was my little defining moment of like, yo, you can't be doing it this wrong,
Mhm.
like, and kind of push me forward. But that's one challenge I faced early on in my career that I was like, hey, no matter what I do today, I always push for like, you don't have to do it well, you don't have to be the best at it, you just have to make sure you have your like your moral tenet of like it's protected, it's secure, like people are safe, like type of thing. Not to go IC squared or IC2, but like moral ethics, like yes.
Memorize the cannons and regurgitate them when you take the exam. Yes.
I'm in the middle of getting CISSP right now,
Good
so
luck. That was a brain blaster for me.
oh man, and we'll talk after about why. Like, we'll get to certification. I think the students would love to hear about that one. But
Sure.
yeah, Juan or Aaron, the question's open to both. How whoever wants to take it, if you feel inspired.
I could touch on that a little bit. Having gone through a variety of different organizations, you'll land in places where you'll see a ton of green flags everywhere, and you'll land in places that you see a lot of red flags everywhere. And a thing that I learned early on is to be that green flag in the sea of red flags, no matter how uncomfortable you might feel about these things. Especially when like you're in a role where you have no clue, like you might know your career path a little bit, you might know some of the things that you studied along the way, but you're dealing with a lot of new things, especially in the world of like now AI. Um, you need to be comfortable knowing that if the people around you are going to support you making these decisions and challenges along your way, and even if they're not, try to be the best you can when all of these challenges arise along your paths. And if you keep going on that direction and keep finding things that make work fun for you, whether it be, asking your manager, can you do these projects that interest you that are tangential? If you're working like, let's say, support and you want to pivot to cybersecurity, that was one of the big milestones that inspired me to keep going was taking on things like a bug bounty program when I'm working as a support engineer,
Yeah,
finding those opportunities and paving your path towards where you want to be. I feel like that's something that you should definitely take advantage of as soon as you can find any of those opportunities.
I agree.
Mhm.
That's definitely a good one right there too.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah, I'll add on to one thing that I noticed is a lot of people kind of want to go from zero into cyber, which totally get. And there are some people that can do that, but it is hard. And I think one thing I like people to remember is that um, there's nothing stopping you from being a cybersecurity champion in any role, especially in general IT roles, because the configurations you set, the things that you put together, or just the way you handle a ticket, um, is directly related to cybersecurity, especially configurations for Active Directory. That's a big one,
That's a huge
and
one. It's
yeah,
default
Mhm.
open. Yeah.
yeah, because Microsoft will give you, well, I probably shouldn't say the phrase I normally say, but they make it very easy for you to shoot yourself in the foot.
Yes.
Especially a lot of stuff around like Active Directory certificate services. I see the ESC exploitations all the time. It's an easy one.
And to the students, I'll connect this back to your curriculum. This is the part of setting up a home lab. Spin up Proxmarks, put on an an Active Directory server, elevate a forest, de-elevate a forest type of thing. Like go through that part. Try to stand up. What do they call it now? It's not Windows deployment servers. It's Intune.
Oh yeah, Intune.
Yeah. Now that they're shifting everything towards MDM, but go old school. Stand up a Windows deployment service. Try to do a net boot and then make sure everything joins correctly, automate stuff like that. But certificate and then hosting a certificate on an AD server, bro. Oh, you're
Whole
not
nother
wrong.
level.
Yeah. Oh, do you have any more to add real quick? If not, I'll jump in. I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'll add into it. I think as far as that defining moment, because one thing immediately came to mind. It was the first role I had with an MSP. And I remember every customer had a domain admin account like from us, and it was the same password, and it was a password that was in RockU.
Oh
And
no.
there was just like no interest in changing it. And that's what kind of made me go, I don't need to be here because if this blows up, like at least I have it documented that I said something, but like I don't want to be here when it goes south. So I don't know how they're doing today. I'm sure probably much better because they got taken over by a real MSP. Yeah,
We will talk. We will have a whole section at the end of the year. I think I'm trying to invite both of you guys back for the end of the year one too, because that
sure.
one I want to bring back folks to talk about their worst of the worst. That one will not be live streamed, and that one will be recorded. That will be an in live conversation for the students. But holy snap, that is that
Mhm.
scares me. I'm glad you got documentation for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
I was gonna just double tap and add on to that one and say like I definitely believe it was like your best part of being a security champion is starting in IT. And like
Mhm.
both of y'all have highlighted that throughout of like, hey, being a green flag in the sea of red flags is gonna win you a lot in cyber today, especially now that we're noticing a lot of megacorps. Everything is now default open. Look at Instagram and Meta right now. Look at the AI training models on any public data.
Mhm.
Everything's gonna be a gold mine. Even I'm going to talk a little bit bad about Anthropic. Anthropic's cloud setting changes for organization enterprise are some of the hardest to manage because everything defaults to just, yes, we're going to use it, we're going to extract data, and we're going to push it towards your user without any intervention between you and your team. Um, so it's even like network egress with the default on for most cloud models, which I'm like, oh, let's not turn Let's turn that off. Or even now, we've seen that remote execution is now the next like text your cloud model. Like
Hmm.
while it's running on your enterprise grade laptop, I'm like, did we just throw out the rules of NIST, ISO, CISA, and like the world and just say no type of thing? So,
Hmm.
but I'm glad that y'all touched on that. I know they're very like exciting career moments, and like I think I appreciate you seeing being humble about it too, because I know that you also have your just like you are now white hats. White hats usually go through a series of trainings to become a white hat and trials and tribulations. Um,
Absolutely.
I want to move on and talk about more of like your demystifying your day to day. My first question goes to Juan, and like Juan, I want to talk about like, what your typical week looks like as a vulnerability management, or like how you hone your skills, like what kind of not specifically at your corporate job or anything like that, just more like how do you keep up as a vulnerability engineer and as a vulnerability management?
Yeah, and like my type of role specifically, you deal with a lot of different sources of things that need to be fixed. And there's a constant battle of here's this giant list of things that need to be fixed, and here's the rest of the company that are working really hard on making innovation happen. How do you balance approaching all of the very important things that need to be fixed amidst the giant sea of things that are not so important to be fixed? And not just be an impediment, not be a like a cause of friction to other teams that you're trying to pass along these things to. So the general motif of what I see vulnerability management as is building all of the tooling and gathering as much information as possible to make it so that if like security, let's say, can't own making that fix happen, we're passing it off to a, let's say, an engineering team, that they can look at the bundle of the change intent that we want to make happen and be able to make that happen as seamlessly as possible. Of course, with the vast majority of different types of things, like we can have, let's say, infrastructure issues, we can have issues in code, we can have logic issues that have been dormant and got awoken by some new thing that popped out that you never would have thought would be an issue.
Log for J.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could have some supply chain issue that magically comes and wrecks your week.
Gosh.
Um,
NPM, I regret.
Yep.
and everything CVSS, everything's a medium or
Oh
higher.
yeah.
So how do we balance all of these pre-built scoring systems, pre-built technologies that are telling us everything's on fire versus the things that are most impactful to the business and the things that we need to prioritize fixing right now? I'd say that's the general gist of how my day-to-day goes, handling and routing and a lot of those things.
Okay. So, okay, I love that. I guess to add on, just to like top in, how much of your time goes to like triaging or versus like finding new or like building net new?
Um, I'd say it's been a good balance between building things that make triage faster, especially once we get in the world of AI and AI augmented and now AI native solutions. Um, we went we can go from like things that would take a lot of time and a lot of analyst type of operational work to very fast automations, making it so that you just have to look at things to approve or deny them. That's been a big thing across all of us, especially like cyber info. We're dealing with a bunch of different types of vulnerability vendors. We're building those pipelines there as well. If we can condense that information down to make it so that our volunteers have to spend as little time as possible to do boring operational stuff, that can scale to a magnitude of, hey, we can just open up, like, let's say, email us the vulns here and have an AI slop apocalypse and be able to keep up with that.
I might need your advice later. I've definitely been on my fair share end of receiving a bunch of, or what are they called? The ones who submit vulnerability reports just to hold you ransom. Like, hey, I did this research for you, and it's Fisher Price, baby's
Mhm.
first vulnerability report using Claude. Oh, like I see that you have this open S3 bucket, and it's literally a purposely open S3 bucket. Like, congrats, you found the honeypot. It's not. Um, for those that y'all, for the students on the phone, I'll fill in Juan and Aaron real quick. We had a previous hypothetical situation. We had a security researcher, so and so, find a honeypot on my network and then email our C suite and be like, I found the vulnerability versus following the security.txt, emailing security
Yeah.
at, following the proper channel, and try to kind of do this spook report and then
Mhm.
say, because I found this, you owe me $10,000 now. Type of
Right.
please email and send a message here. And then I'm like, my dude, please back off. Like, it's a scary tactic.
I will say real quick on that, for everyone out there, if you're ever doing something at your job and like what you're doing is repetitive and it sucks, take a look back, take a step back for a minute and be like, is there something we can build here or automate to make this way less painful? Because if you can bring that to every challenge you come up with to reduce the friction, reduce the toil, not only will you push your burnout further away, you're going to help everyone else that has to do the same thing that you're doing.
Yes, super much, especially improving processes and procedures. Eventually, you end up iterating so much, you'll be better at it. And you can then take that to the next job and be like, look, I built this. I made
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And move on. Aaron, security researcher. I don't know if you can say much, but what does a day in your life look like for you at adventuring and love scaling up?
Yeah, I'll add a little bit of context that just because I think it does kind of change things. I, without naming names, I work for a financial institution, like a mega bank, um, essentially kind of leading the threat research. So I was brought on to deep dive and really understand threats. Now, fortunately, we don't have any. Um, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but consumer finance, I guess.
Oh yeah,
So it's
you're
like
B2B, not B2C.
exactly. So the threat profile is very different, but it is a lot of understanding what's going on out there and looking at news and it's really beneficial when I can bring something to the organization that just dropped and I use AI to help a lot with that because there's only so much of me to go around. So if I can have like a model that's looking every hour at what's new across various sources and bubbling those up. It's like, hey, even just like, a quick headline, boom, boom, boom. I'm able to scan through that and pick stuff out, and that's helped a lot with like, oh, hey, this is something I need to look more into, and try to really understand how it impacts us. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very very different. Where some days it might be uh, like looking at forums on the dark web. It might be doing analysis on malware that has been sent into the firm, or even just acting as like essentially a tier three escalation point for an incident, and really digging in to do a deeper analysis. Just because that's like the experience that I have, and I'm able to bring that to the table as well. So um, it's it's a lot, especially and obviously producing intelligence products like, hey, this is the current state of like AI and how it impacts us. So if you like to be on the bleeding edge of everything that's new, whether you want to or not, whether you like AI or not, you have to know what's going on and
Know
how
it.
it impacts everything. And now quantum computing as well. That's something um, that I'm having to force myself to understand so I can articulate that to shareholders and it's or
I got some
stakeholders, I
white
should say,
papers
but
for you, man. I got some white.
send them my way because it
Yeah, especially with
still
data
goes over my
harvesting.
head.
Oh, trust me, I'm the same way. I have to watch Cyberwire daily and then watch Darknet Diaries or listen to
Oh
Darknet
yeah,
Diaries all the time.
it's
Uh,
so good.
for y'all that don't know, I want to be Aaron when I grow up. That's my goal. Like that's
I
my
still don't know what I'm doing, man.
career. I'm like, I get to be Aaron between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. PST, and then I'm Juan between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. PST. Departments of one, y'all. Departments of one. Oh, but changing over then. I guess can you guys give an example like what you guys find the most rewarding from your roles right now? Like what makes you happy? What's that? I love my students and I know I gotta find that nugget for them here from time to time because sometimes cybersecurity sounds daunting and sounds scary and like one of the biggest things that we're addressing this year as minority cybersecurity is the burnout. It seems like we're burning out at a faster rate than we're building new professionals. We're always like Aaron kind of touched on it where he's like, yo, I gotta, there's not enough of me going around as a Department of One, I relate to that heavily. And I try to tell the students, combat that feeling by having your nugget. Like, what's your like, here's where I get my like, this is my joy moment, my 5 minutes. What's y'all's 5 minutes?
That's a good question.
I'll let y'all think about it
Do
while
you,
I
do
remind.
you, I was gonna say, do you have yours, Juan?
Um,
Yeah.
Because I've got mine if you want a sec.
go for it.
Yeah. So I think for me, and I think a lot of people who do any sort of offensive work can probably relate to this too. But I think that and it's not just offensive. I'd say even like defensively, it's like almost like finding that flag, if you will. So I'm thinking to like say like a capture the flag event. It's like you're knocking on the door of this challenge, trying to get it, and then you're getting just like yes, this is it. And I think the same kind of applies to it's like when you're pushing through difficult things. It's almost like when you actually get there and you complete it, and it's that feeling of like I did this. And I'm thinking to an investigation I did at one point where it was there's a lot of layers where it was like having to reverse engineer um like a command and control implant and then actually getting decrypting the config file and being able to see like this is where it's checking into, this is the beacon jitter and all that sort of stuff, and that feeling of like I did this. I was able to figure out this sort of stuff. For me, that's like what makes it just so much fun.
I love that. That's like, especially just having that moment of rewarding it. Like, yo, it's a hard problem. I figured it out and I solved it.
Yeah.
Like, get it. Juan, what about you?
For me, it's definitely the people aspect of the problems that come up. Like at my first like SOC apprenticeship all the way until my current role, the thing I love doing is asking people that whose roles are either affected by the outputs that my role creates, what's the most painful thing about dealing with whatever it is you do in a day when it comes to like, let's say vulnerabilities, and being able to take like a bunch of things that used to suck a lot and build processes to make them not at scale to the point where like we're talking shaving hours a week that people would normally have to do this to maybe like one person having to do things for a little bit of time a week of things that they don't want to do. And seeing that not only affect like me, like I don't want to do things that suck,
Oh, totally.
but everyone else being able to go work on other cool things. Um, that has brought me a lot of joy, and that's a pattern I love repeating because there is no reason, especially when you're at a place that is functioning at a very high level, that things should suck. And I'm very much about that. I brought that up before, but that is a core tenet of the things that I, want everyone to keep in mind is that things don't have to be bad, and if you get an opportunity to make them good, do it.
Always, always trust. I'm very much a big believer in that I leave every workplace better than I found it, or I try my best to.
For
Um,
sure.
Even when I leave, like I always try to do a handoff doc or even like
Mhm.
I keep a running list of achievements that I've done, and then when I do the hands-off doc, depending on how much I like it, I'm always like, here's the archive, and here's what you get access to. Oh, and here's what I'm just not gonna bother backfilling. Okay, I'm gonna move on to a little bit more like skills and certifications and breaking in. Like, so I am somebody who believes in see one, do one, teach one. I think y'all with your nonprofit are in a very similar boat as my mentality. It's the reason I vibe with both of y'all. For someone who's wanting to become a security engineer, what technical foundations are y'all's non-negotiables now in the age of AI of 2026, of Beyonce's internet, of like, are we talking about networking, scripting, cloud administration, automation? What is the baseline for what you see in your neck of the woods?
I'll start because my like educational slash certification upbringing is a lot more unconventional than Aaron's. Um, the number one thing I would push to people is first, don't be afraid to try things you don't know. That's a key thing because everyone doesn't know. And if you think you do know, you're wrong. No one knows a lot of these things, at least to the level that you're confident enough about. And once you accept that, and you come in with a very open mind, a constantly learning approach to cybersecurity, that is what's going to fuel the fire that is getting into this industry because you're not going to know everything. But you are, the more as you progress throughout your career, going to be surrounded with peers that know how to approach these complex problems that don't have an answer. Um, and alongside that, if you're at a place where you can't necessarily go do all the certifications, go do all the education, focus on things you can do. Like, do you have a machine that can run a virtual home lab? It doesn't even have to be a physical home lab. What other types of skills can you start showing off? Like, I can do the thing to employers, and being able to turn those things that you do into business impact and translate that well is that going to be another huge thing you can bring along to show that I may not have all of the certifications in the world, I may not have all of these pieces of paper, but I know how to do the thing that y'all do better than anyone else applying right now.
Oh, there you go. And then I'm gonna have to redirect to Aaron. I'm like, Aaron, you placed in like 17 CTFs. So I'm assuming you have a diversity range of skills on this part.
Absolutely. And I think that's important too. And everything that Juan said is spot on. Like, I think it's I'll add on to, like, I think you really have to love it because you're competing with a lot of people that just absolutely love it, and it can be hard if you're just in it for it pays well, um,
Mhm.
that can hurt. But I think really I'm trying to think because I was technically an information security engineer in my last role, and I think the thing that helped me the most with that. Um, was exactly like Juan said, was being able to learn on my own because I was implementing things that I had never done before. Um, but I like if I'm hiring someone, I'm I'm also looking for someone who can be comfortable in stressful situations who also meshes well with the team because I think a lot of technical stuff can be trained, but to put it very bluntly, you could be the most technical person in the world, be very good with all that stuff, but if you just suck as a person, it's really hard for that to mesh well with the team. And I wish I've been I mean Juan can tell you I've been trying to figure out how to make like a soft skills course almost. I don't know how to do that. That is because and that's arguably the hardest part. That's why there's billions of technical things out there, but how do you teach someone to mesh well with others? And that's kind of hard. But I think that I think breadth of skill is good, never going to hurt, especially versus just like hyper specialization. Especially with what I'm doing now, like having experience doing offensive stuff, doing defensive stuff, doing security, and all this stuff is is what makes me best for this sort of like threat research role because I understand how all those pieces work together. Um, so I think that just playing around in a home lab, breaking something, fixing it, you just gain an immense amount of experience. And even if it's not a certification that says I have a baseline understanding of this, if you can come in, sit down, and confidently talk about something, um like to me, I'm like, okay, well, there you go. Like a certification isn't going to inherently help make this person any better if he has been doing it and can work his way around different errors and issues. So, yeah, I think just getting in and playing around with stuff because, yeah, and then trying to actually get the interviews, the whole other bag of beans that in this
No,
day and age with AI is such a pain. It feels even for me. I'm like, oh my god.
trust. We have. I think that's going to be the last talk in about November when fall recruiting's up, and that's going to
Mhm.
be a painful one too because I'm going through it
Yeah,
right now, and I'm like, oh, it's Claude and everything else. It's no longer the approach of just and I'm taking Juan's advice here and I'm just doing stuff and trying it because I'm not being afraid to fool around. I'm using Claude in this time more of a sniper approach of an AI, like resume, kind of building. I built a whole CI/CD for getting a job application, generating a resume, cover letter, and building a dossier. Like I think my prior student could probably explain this a little more too.
Mhm.
I tell them you should know why this role is open and what the team is working on and know how you fit before just shooting off the application and making sure it aligns with y'all. Because we're always a big fan and like we tell people maybe don't take the first job, but also be aware what you're applying for and be aware of like how that dives in. So we don't just apply to stuff because then you end up in a very like, oh, I'm not sure this job's for me. It may trigger more imposter syndrome. It may trigger like the worst thing you can do is probably become a generalist at some level, where like you're no longer specializing in like cybersecurity or even IT. You're now just a general operations of security, and it doesn't. You're not building what you want to build towards. But I'll say this part: you both highlighted something fun, was taking that initial leap of like pushing towards and just trying stuff out. I've seen it through both of your Minecraft servers to now to researching like, yo, what's next for both of y'all? Like as you're evolving in cyber, like what do you see yourself doing forward thinking and kind of be like, this is what I want to push towards to next, especially with the rise of AI and automation.
Ooh, man. I think I have a pretty clear picture. What about you, Juan?
Yeah, go for it though.
Okay, yeah. I'll say I think as I continue along in my career, um, I've gained a lot of fantastic experience with different things, and I'm starting to push towards the idea of being more, almost like more of a consultant, because I think I feel like at some point a lot of neurodivergent people like myself wind up going that route, because and there's like 1.5 billion out there, but um, I as much as I enjoy what I do now and whatnot, there's something that really draws me about being able to hop from project to project to solve different issues for different people. Almost like, the MSP work to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
As taxing as that is emotionally, at times, it's very, very rewarding and really just kind of scratches that itch in my head. So, I think obviously not tomorrow, but like at some point I think that's kind of where I want to go and see how I can turn the tables with some things, by leveraging AI, because I think there's a lot of great opportunity there. Um, yeah, I mean, and shoot, there's a crap load of money to be made on the table there with AI.
Oh,
You
I'm
just
gonna
put
pull
AI
you
to
in.
something, and
Yeah.
someone's gonna throw a dollar bill at you.
Especially right now with sort of like the way venture capitals are now, we're seeing this little small AI bubble kind of pop a little bit, and then
Hmm.
this whole new one build up of like we're kind of going back in circles of now we're like loops, create loops, everybody create a loop. I'm like, wait till we get to object oriented programming. Like guys,
Yeah. We're gonna yeah, make a full circle to like COBOL or something like that.
triggered.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll go off on that one. But Juan, what about yours?
So the best part of me not having like a traditional cybersecurity like education slash certification path is that I am not overly tied to the pieces of paper that have taught like these very concrete methods of doing things.
Yes.
And as I keep growing in my career, where I see myself shining at in the future, as well as even right now, what I'm building towards, is continuing to challenge a lot of these ideas that are out there of the standard way of doing things, especially with the innovations we have with AI. A lot of these things that are, being taught were methods that came up maybe a decade or a couple decades ago as these information systems were rolling out. And I like to not be afraid to say, why are we doing these things that way? Because they were definitely correct at the time. Are they still correct with the new tooling and the new engineering capacity we have to keep doing that? Or is there a different version of this that we can create, or a different, maybe even a vendor out there that's already solved the problem we're trying to solve? Um, that type of stuff, and getting myself in a position where I can make those calls and own those decisions is likely where I want to be in the next couple of years.
Okay. All right. So this I love that. I think you're right to challenge the status quo on that part because the status quo is very male, pale, and Yale when it comes to cybersecurity, especially with closing the doors on people who want to get in. Like look at what was the I'm not sure if you guys subscribe to this, but like the job reports of like they scan all open cybersecurity jobs on LinkedIn and they just keywordify every one of them to see like what people are looking for. CISSP went from 2% at the beginning of 2024 to now almost 60% of entry level roles will quote a CISSP for no reason other than the fact that like it's an HR term now of like boom. Even on candidates that require above who can say like there and the bad part about this is that they're not even putting like a oh preferred or like hey, if you have other experiences, boom, 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 or 10 years of cyber or even alternative paths, it's now not even being allowed to be challenged in some of these job experiences. So like I'm glad that like the goal here is to like change status quo, focus on like pushing two on that and not just certificate stacking. Not that I'm shaming.
Don't look at the wall behind me.
Mine's over here
But
off camera.
yeah, you're entirely right though, and that's one of the things that pisses me off at times about like in my last role. I wouldn't have that if I didn't have a degree. Did I need a degree to do it? No, absolutely not. And I think that's whenever I'm at some point in the future in a role where I'm not beholden to like, HR's requirement of like, oh, they have to do this or whatever, even though they have no idea what that actually means. Like they need this cert. It's like, why? Can you explain to me why? Because I can tell you why they don't. And especially with CISSP, having taken that, it was like, you know,
I want to add too because like it's like Aaron, you hold 20 certifications, but like Juan, you've built massive amount of experience through hands-on engineering work and home lab and like messing around. So like let's spill the tea then. What's actually worth it for a beginner right now in this day and age?
From my perspective, real quick, I'll touch on that
yeah, yeah,
because if you go the route that I chose, which was a lot of doing things unconventionally in tangential roles, yes, you can find success in that, but you will need to defend like that experience. You will need to defend that to its core a lot more, especially to get past maybe the first couple of rounds of interviews, than somebody who has the like paper stack that can easily get HR to go, yeah, let's check off on this person. If you're trying to look at a company that may be more detached from the hiring manager to the initial screening process. However, if you do have that experience, you're usually at the point where you can say with confidence the correct answers to a lot of these problems and be able to think in a way that's going to benefit a company a lot rather than just here's a problem, approach it the way that CompTIA wants you to solve it. Or here's a problem, approach it the way this other certification body wants you to solve it.
Oh, it's becoming like Hunger Game shopping too. Which house are you, or like which are you more? Yeah, are you which
exactly.
district do you approach? I see squared like is you're more auditor focused stuff and like going
Mhm.
from there.
But
Oh, yeah, I agree with you on that one. Aaron, your take. Let me not. I'm not trying to get you to get like my
No,
hot
no, no,
like
no. I
TikTok
get you.
line, like because I
I
like Juan. That the last 60 seconds. That's recordable.
Yeah, it's gonna pop up in every job interview now. No, no. But I think I have some strong opinions about it, and I'll give some context. I went to when I got my first job in IT, I didn't have a degree. I didn't technically have any certifications. I went to a place called New Horizons Computer Learning Center and took some like classes. They weren't like college classes, and they kind of help get like job placement, air quotes. Um, but I struggled when I did I went to WGU, and that comes with certs. Those were the first certs I got was through that program. And I did struggle with CompTIA, where it's like they wanted something done this way, but I was like, I've done this in real life, and that's not the way I would approach this, having struggled through it. So, and I think for me, especially when I tackle certifications, I like having a goal to shoot for, and so that's if I have an opportunity, I'll just take it. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go do the cert. Um, and this sounds weird. It's really stupid, and I don't recommend people do this unless their brain works this way. I suck at studying. So all of my experience for passing these certs is purely from experience in the field. I don't really study for cert exams because I just can't. And I just go, screw it, we're going to take it and see what happens. Hasn't failed me yet. And the CISSP was the biggest dice roll I ever did that on. Somehow I passed. And I I will say it is a it is a vocab test, and I don't know why I have it. I don't care about it. It doesn't do anything for me. Not even when trying to get a job. It doesn't do anything for me.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think I think it's good for establishing uh that you have a baseline of knowledge. And if it comes to like specific certs that I like to see, um, I think, there's the HR checkbox of the CompTIA stuff, blah blah blah. Um, I am a big, big fan of like Hack the Box, for instance. Their CDSA cert was a fantastic experience because it dropped me in an environment. I had to use a real sim and look through real logs to identify a real compromise. That sort of stuff where it's all hands-on, and then I provide a report to them on my findings, and then an actual human being goes through and grades it and gives me a yay or nay on it. Those sort of hands-on certs are the ones that I like to see, and I feel like are the most beneficial. Um, it can be kind of tough because, especially like Hack the Box, fortunately they're actually becoming pretty well known. Um, and I think they just got some DoD certification, so
They
it
do.
qualifies. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yes, you guys are making it. Um, yeah, so I think those are kind of the best approach if you're able to get a cert, but I know they're also not cheap.
And I can't speak ill because I have their certifications, but for a certain four-letter company right now
Hmm.
that loves to charge $10,000 for a course.
Yep, I have a few of those too, as I'm sure you saw. And
It's
it's good stuff, but it's expensive.
yes, and I still have my entire boxes of portfolios and management and stuff like that. I'll say, similar to you, Aaron, most of the stuff I did was because I had hands-on experience at some
Mhm.
point, or I was able to quickly reference it to. I suck at studying. We are gonna have a future person named Eunice. She's one of my network engineering friends, but she also does teaching on the
Mhm.
side. And she hates it that I walked in off the street because I forgot I had scheduled a SANS exam and was like, well, it's worse money. You can bring the book in. We're
Yeah.
just gonna. I went to bed around 11 p.m. I got a notification on my Google Calendar. Like I woke up at like midnight to like, oh, brush my teeth, like use the bathroom type of stuff, and I saw it. It was like SANS exam, 10 a.m. Boom. And I was like, wait, that's not really for next month type of thing. And then double checked it. Oh snap! This is pre-Mary and my VA type of thing.
Mhm.
um, Literally grabbed my book, started building an index as fast as I could, and was just like, well, I'm gonna get 1 hour of sleep and then make my way over to down in the center. Walked off. Still is her most like, I can't believe you did that moment. Like of like doing that. I'm like, I think that was the only one I could do because I had experience in that realm. I knew I also could connect the dot and be like, I know they're gonna want it this way and not
Yeah.
this way. And I was like, boom. But for the most part, I tend to tell students my take on this to kind of cut the middle between you two is try to go free. Find a
Mhm.
sugar daddy first if you can to pay for sorry, a glucose guardian. We are gender neutral here. To try to pay for certification first. And I tell folks, do it from the public library. Many public libraries across the U.S. offer some sort of like Sec Plus training, like, and they'll pay for like one or two certs. I'm lucky enough to be located in Seattle, Washington, where King County Libraries will pay for one of your certifications from CompTIA up to
Wow.
two. Many libraries around the U.S. will let you just buy a library card for $25, but they'll have the unlocks for the training materials and stuff like that, and may even comp you one. Workplace and WorkSource similar. They Washington State has a couple of them that will pay, but like, yeah, try to find alternative first if you need it. I try to say certifications are to justify experiences you do have, or to certify yourself in something new where you don't have an experience and you don't have time to do like a home lab or a home project for it, and you just gotta justify it. I am trying to jump between two levels of work right now, so I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to make that next rung. Juan has seen me struggle in this in the Discord, and be like, I'm out here fighting for my life interviewing, but that's the reason I'm doing the CISSP this round and be like, you know what? I've been asked by multiple CTOs, be like, why don't you have it? I was like, I don't have it, but here's the work I had done. Like, I've taken a financial company and fully got them SOC 2 and ISO 2700 in less than 180 days, man. That in itself is like,
That's worth more than the damn CISSP to me.
Right?
yeah.
Shoot. That's impressive.
But IC2 is a branding, or sorry, they're the marketing and all the stuff. Like, oh,
It's like a
especially with our
known
team that have
quantity.
Mhm.
and Delve pushing like, oh, you should have somebody on your security team. Your ISM manager should have some sort of authority that says they're cooked. And I'm like, here, no, you probably don't, but okay. Um, pushing us forward, I guess. What's one concrete step that you feel that like our entry level folks should be taking today, at least to just make them stand out? And I think my generic guidance for this has been doing. I know I'm going to cop out on this one. I've recommended the Anthropics entry level AI cert of
Oh
just like,
yeah.
hey, it's free. All of them are actually free right now from Anthropic, and just saying I know how to use Claude
Mhm.
safely. Um, and that's the one I tend to recommend. Where I'm like, no matter what, that's always like you're an Eevee, and this moves you to a Vaporeon. This moves you to like whatever evolution of it. Like whether you go GRC, whether you go Security Eng, Bone, whatever. Knowing how to use AI safety is going to be a part of all of our jobs in the next year or so.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
There's one concrete thing. And I'll mention this from I was reviewing a bunch of resumes a while back for different career things at some events I went to. And a consistent thing that I kept telling folks is business impact needs to be measurable on your resume as people are reading at a glance, without a doubt.
yes.
Like, if there's one thing you do today, go grab your resume and is there percentage increase of this? Is there, here's the exact stats of what this project achieved and how it translates to something and why it matters. If you can go make that stand out on your resume, you'll be way ahead of the game of people just listing, I did this, I did that. Um, what happened as a result of the cool things you did? And why should the person reading it care about those results?
For your curriculum students, that's the XYZ formula. What Juan's referencing to. And yes, always be doing the XYZ formula.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and I love that one too, because even right now, I'm forgetting to do that on my own resume. I went back through and was like, what did I do on my job? I literally looked at my job and was like, I don't know what I've done. Oh crap. Like, and sorry, excuse my language. Oh, I'm like, oh snap, what am I pushing towards too? And then I had to sit down through and do the XYZ formula. What about you, Aaron? What do you think is like one concrete?
Yeah, and I'll add on to that. One thing my boss told me in my last role is that a resume should be a living document. So as you do things, update it. Not because like, oh, you feel like, your job is insecure or anything, but things happen. You never know, and it's good to have those big achievements on there. Maybe when they happen versus going, oh man, I don't remember, sort of thing. It's almost like when you build your annual goals for like any large organization. Doing it all at the last minute, you're just struggling. um, but yeah, I think I really like what you said about AI because I think the differentiator is going to be those who do and those who don't use AI. So if you can show how you augment yourself and what you do with it, and not just like burning tokens and costing the company $7 billion or something like
Token
that.
maxing, like,
Yeah, the token maxing out here. Um, I think that is going to be, and I think already kind of is a signal that companies are looking for when they're hiring. Um, but yeah, I think especially being able to show impact um, beyond just this is a cool thing I did. Yeah, that is a big one for sure.
So I'm gonna poke on this one too as we move forward. I agree. I think making sure that's set. As we're describing the future, I referenced burnout earlier a little bit, where I'm like, hey, we got burnout on the rise. What's one thing you two are doing in your day to days to avoid burnout? Never mind.
Operational resilience is a big thing. And let me expand on that. If you're in a role where, let's say, you want to take PTO and suddenly you're dreading taking PTO because you know there's going to be this mountain of work that piles up, you are a failure case. Don't be that failure case. Put yourself in a position where I know it might seem like weird for some people because you might be like, wait, am I automating my job? Am I becoming replaceable because I'm sharing this knowledge? You're not. Uh, Put yourself in a place where you don't have to stress about taking time away. Like the company's still going to be there. They're still going to be working. It's going to be okay. And build that level of resilience and show that off because that is way more of a green flag to people, especially if you're looking to move up. Like I made it so that someone can jump into my role and take over while I'm gone. Excellent. Instead of I need to take some PTO or I'm having an emergency. And now that everything is crumbling when I'm gone. That's such a good signal to see when people are doing it the right way, and will help you in the long run because now you can take time off. PTO is great. Go do that.
Yes, yes, as I hide my head in shame. Um,
Yeah.
Juan is absolutely right on this one. I completely agree on like try to do your best to have automations and not just a cloud routine that you're running to help prevent your your workload from going high, but ensuring other people can have that's I try to follow the least privilege to the most extent, but I also am like, hey, you're my backup. You're my backup. You're my backup in this system. uh, what about you, Aaron? What's one thing you do to prevent burnout?
Ah, man. I need I'm gonna say something here and then immediately say that I need to take my own advice more, but um trying to step away from the computer. And that's hard because a lot of the hobbies that and the things that I enjoy um are in front of a screen. And I think like even my idea of a fun night, tonight is going to be setting up the C2 server for these two Hack 5 Shark Jacks. Um, and that's very related to what I do. So I mean there are some days where I'm essentially just doing security or IT stuff for like 14 hours, and that does weigh on me combined with that like working on a doctorate. It's I've noticed over the past few months that um small things that would otherwise just be like insignificant feel like mountainous things. Granted, that's also like ADHD divergence, but not taking the time to step away um sucks. So, and that's something that, as I tell people, you should do this. I'm going to try to take my own advice here, and then ask me again at the end of the year. We'll see how I'm doing.
I think we're living parallel lives right now because my NAS, my open NAS blew up last week, it literally caught fire.
Oh,
Oh, not through any fault of my own, maybe. But
we'll just say no.
we'll just say no.
If the warranty
Um,
asks, yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly, exactly.
Synology owes me money at this point because those drives were good. Oh,
Things are expensive too.
Yeah.
especially right now, but I'm with you on that part where I had to rebuild I switched because I needed services up and running. I just switched to Proxmark, took an old Dell Inspiron and just like threw it up. And was like, hey, here's the
Beautiful.
goal. Started running VMs and lightweight containers with like, okay, boom, boom, boom. And now I'm like having VLAN issues with my Apple TVs being like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, like, guys, like,
Hmm.
but no, little tasks that were like, I just want to get my like music back up and running in my home, like Jellyfin up and like months of work when really it was like only a couple hours and knocking it out. But it's good to hear that you're taking some times away and you're stepping back, especially while finishing your master's and your doctorate. Like, bro, that is big. And then Juan, I will take the call out. And agree of PTO. So before we go into rapid fire closing type of thing, I prep my guests. I ask them for one word. What's their word of the year? I'll have to ask Ralph what mine was. I keep forgetting every call what my word of the year is. I think it's resiliency. At this point, but is there one word that encompasses your year, what you're aiming for, what you're talking, or what? Or now that we're past July and we're in Q3, something of like what you've been feeling and like what the year has felt like for you.
Uh, I I'm gonna use two words just because it works so well, but I'd probably say artificial intelligence. I know that's a cheap cop out because it's like, oh yeah, no, duh. That's been inserted into every website that's been made, but um, I think, and even just in my day-to-day role, like I make the joke that I made the mistake of opening my mouth about LLMs to an executive, and then and all of a sudden I'm in helping drive, all kinds of AI related decisions for a mega bank, and I'm like, okay, why? I don't know what I'm doing, dude. But just seeing all the changes and all that, that has it's really impacted my life. And Juan, you probably remember like year and a half, 2 years ago, I was kind of like AI, whatever, I don't care. Like it's life's gonna go on, and now I'm like I've got like multiple agents running at all times, sort of thing, and I'm just like, man, I should have told myself about this like 2 years ago, and I would have been like, yeah, right.
Well, especially now that ChatGPT and all these like we're about to hit the part where the subsidies are going away.
I
So
know. So
I'm kind
sad.
of well, here's the thing. This is why I'm like saying that like I told my students exactly 2 years ago on like a call. No, maybe 3 years ago, right when ChatGPT was first getting its start and people were starting like the beginning of token maxing, I'm like, look, this is the millennial subsidy. You just have to wait it out. Eventually, taxis come back. Eventually, other forms of transportations like come back. This is just to gather data and see how people are going to use it, experiment it, and the sectors that can afford to keep it will keep it, and the ones
Oh
that
yeah.
don't. They just need to be able to model people's data, insert season 4 of Westworld, and get enough to be able to do predictive analytics. Now, what we're seeing is especially certain startups that can't afford a token max or can't afford like straight up Fable 5 on every single like, oh, it is cheaper to hire somebody. Like,
Ford
oh,
found that out recently.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think that's a very real point too, where we kind of noticed like um or we're seeing the shift from or to the open source open weight models, and I've even noticed it like for so I have one of those, the AMD Ryzen Max 395, whatever the string is, the 120 gigs of RAM,
oh, he
and
got money
I I worked hard for that. Okay, I had to
in
go
this
spend a week in
economy.
LA. I had to spend a week in LA beating on firewalls. Okay, this was before the RAM spiked. To be fair, because otherwise I'd not be buying that today.
Oh,
But it's really cool being able to see like, okay, Claude is neat. It's really powerful. What can I do with a smaller model that can run on that and a really good harness? And we're starting to see this interesting shift where, and I think Anthropic yanking Fable and Mythos kind of showed everyone, hey, this can be yanked at any time, but we can take something like GLM 5.2 and get near Mythos level capability with the right harnessing and tools. Um, and so I think we're probably going to see the shift, especially if they start removing those token subsidies over to the more local models, which I'm happy for because I think they're very capable.
oh,
So
I give you props. I agree on that one. It's, like I use Open Llama and stuff like that, but right
yeah,
now
yeah.
it's Open Code and Open Chamber, and I'm
Hmm.
trying to like figure out how to get that in my workflow and be like, okay, boom, so that even
Hmm.
like my VA can then use it to organize my life better. Because
Yeah,
we don't trust. I don't know. I eventually think like Claude is now pushing out like all this stuff. Like, let me integrate to your Gmail. Give me your Google Drive data. Give
it's
me
for a
all this.
reason.
Yeah, and we saw what Facebook did today. Any public Instagram public Instagram Messenger, Instagram message, or main message sent can now be used to train models and can be used to generate new content based on anything you said. Like, yeah, my high school mixtapes are all on my Facebook Messenger from like 2010. Like, good luck dropping those vibes. But like, I can't wait for this to become a threat vector of someone be like, imitate at Alejandro
Hmm.
and start and like having it get so like narrowed down. Exactly what they do with advertising. Like, oh yeah, we can target you within 1,000 feet. Now have an AI generated content based on your personality within 1,000 feet. It's gonna duplicate you, and
I
it's
think
gonna
we
be like,
already see that.
oh,
Like, yeah, and I'll give a very redacted example of people being brought into a board meeting room that real time it has the people on the board of directors, and it's very realistic. Like you cannot tell that it's fake, that it's AI, and people have lost money to that, to deep fakes, and it's because it's not just an image, it's a real time generated um, video feed that reacts to what's going on, which blows my mind.
right.
And I think to your other point about the data part, like Anthropic was partnered with Figma, and then they dropped the Claude design.
Yep, yep. You see, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like, or the reason it's so good at giving SOC 2 reports is that a lot of the early adopters of freaking ChatGPT were risk assessors. Like,
Or the head of CISA dumping like classified data into that.
We
Out
have
of
War
all the
Thunder arms
people,
at
dude.
home.
actually, this is
It's
recorded. Go to one of the Mike Lead Aspire calls from like a year and a half ago when like it's only been 6 months, huh? It hasn't even been. Not to shame, but when CISA got fired, it's only been January.
oh my gosh, dude.
It's only
When
been
Jen Easterly left, I was like, this is the end. She
when
was
he
so good.
yes, when he fired the free advisory board. And sorry, let me not get too into this, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I get you.
CISA going downstairs was definitely one of those moments. And I'm live on one of these calls in January where I said, Mark, this will be the point where somehow leaks will be just galore. And I think that came out in March or February type of thing. So that was, yeah.
You called it.
Okay, y'all. We're about 10 minutes. We're 10 minutes over real quick, but I want to say thank you to both of y'all.
Of course.
Juan, did I ask your word? Sorry, I'm not sure if I just
No, but I'll be quick.
Oh, we didn't, yeah.
My word is
Crap.
outcomes. Instead of just you're making things, especially now with AI. You need to focus on the outcomes. Do more cool things, but also don't burn yourself out. That's my 3 seconds feel.
no, you're good. I love that. I know the last question I want to ask I didn't get to was just the whole you guys have said that you're always happy to grab a beer and talk shop. Where can people reach you? What are they gonna how can they contact you? How do you want people to funnel find you if they can?
Cyber.info into your browser. We have a Discord server. Y'all are welcome to join. We hang around sometimes in there. You find us in chat, definitely. Feel free to say hi.
Yep.
So
Best way.
glad. Any last closing thoughts from either one of you before I close up the call? Nope. Going once, going twice. That it
Trying to
was.
think. I think we already covered everything, man. It's been a really good. It's
We
been
hit a
really
lot of
good.
topics. I'm glad
Yeah.
you guys have been some of the better ones to keep up with me. And like I know I sound like I'm just ADHDing out sometimes on these calls, where I'm like boom, 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 boom. I try to keep a narrative if I can.
Yeah.
Um, but no, thank you both for coming today. I
Of
really
course.
do appreciate it. Y'all heard it. Cyber.info. Go find them if you need to follow up. Whenever you are watching this I'm keeping this like within 90 days of this call. Like if you need help contacting Juan or Aaron, please let me know. Um, be prepared for fall recruiting season. Take the advice from Juan. Make sure you use the XYZ message. Uh, Aaron and I both feel the same way about certs. Yeah, I agree with Juan on that one too. My little cyber wall over here. Hey, forgettable type of thing. But thank you both for having